Greetings all, welcome to Chuke's Outdoor Adventures. I wanted to thank everyone for all the views last month on the jellyfish UFO video. I will be doing some more videos on subjects like that, but back to more Bigfoot themed subjects, kind of Bigfoot themed. So it came up that I should do a video on the trolls of Alaska. You heard that right, trolls. We did get some reports of trolls here in Alaska. And the first thing I thought of was the little people. Now, the little people among the indigenous tribes of Alaska are the most widespread cryptid animal creature that is reported, even more than the hairy man Sasquatch. Of course, big hairy man Sasquatch, Bigfoot comes in a close second, but by far I've just heard some fascinating stories about the little people. So many times people have seen them, whole pilots have seen whole cities of them with torches and campfires just going over western Alaska, just a giant city where there should be nothing of these teeny little people. Now, typically the little people are, 10 inches high, a foot tall, sometimes smaller, sometimes bigger, almost like dwarves, and that's when we enter the troll kind of territory. They are not always friendly to human. They're more tricksters, the little people. However, trolls are considered not friendly to people. And we find the legends of trolls in Scandinavia, particularly in Norway, and Norse legends of several different kinds of trolls. Some are giants, actually, so it makes you think of Bigfoot, and some are little dwarves. Now, the one common thing they have is they've got big noses and ears, and they're ugly, so they're not really ape-like big Sasquatch creatures, but we do have this gray area, kind of a middle ground of the smaller, shorter Bigfoot, and I think that's where some of these trolls fit, because I do have a story after our presenters go. I would tell you about a troll-like creature that we are going to go after next summer, or this coming summer, whenever the snow melts, because we can't do some of the expeditions that we want to do just because there's so much snow this year. And in the spring, we'll just be able to get out, and that'll be great. So let's check in with Rob Roy Menzies and Beans Baxter about the trolls. Start it.
Oh, you got, okay, we'll start from scratch.
So I'm here with Rob Roy. Tell us about the shop.
Oh, well, here we are after Christmas, thank goodness. I feel pretty rattled and burned out. No, actually, I feel good. I took 6 days off, feeling pretty good.
Went to Juneau.
Yeah, went to my motherland.
Right.
Went to Juneau.
It's a hot spot.
Oh, it was nice break. Now I'm back, and of course, it's back to Bigfoot.
Right.
We just had a couple podcasters in here that do the Freaky Deaky show.
Freaky Deaky, that was cool.
So they've never been in here. So I think Chuke was here. It was like a Bigfoot convention.
Yeah, super cool.
So anyway, we're back. Things are still happening here.
Yeah, you're doing framing, and you got all kinds of Bigfoot swag.
Oh yeah, the framing's always coming in. That's our main bread and butter. We do excellent work here. We've got so much work coming in. Plus the Bigfoot stuff, of course.
And I've been featuring your artwork in these videos. I got this artwork up. So you do your own Bigfoot and paranormal designs, and then you frame them.
I frame my own art. It's the only place you can buy it.
Right.
Those who have been into Bigfoot for a while now, like decades, might recognize my art. I've been doing it for decades. So I hope it's... I hope it's getting familiar. I think it is pretty familiar with people. But
and you have been known to ship?
I do. I just shipped some all the way to Florida. 3 prints.
Okay. Very cool.
To a couple, and for Christmas, and they made it. But by the skin of their teeth. I got there the 23rd.
Oh my gosh!
And actually, the husband called me up and thanked me, and he was the recipient of the gifts. It was his wife that bought them. But then he called me up to thank me. He thought they were so awesome. So
nice.
That's pretty cool. That's what keeps me going. But
yeah, that's awesome.
It's fun. So anyway, my shop it definitely is the place to come for my artwork anyway. But anything Bigfoot is in here and is welcome. So we have local artists on display here as well. But it's a lot of fun. I always encourage the artists that come in. Oh, you saw the people? Yeah. put Bigfoot on it. I always
Right.
tell them, put Bigfoot on it, and it will sell.
Absolutely.
In here anyway, but it's a little niche store. So, but there's a lot of people out there that are into it. So
Yeah, I love coming out here.
it's a lot of fun.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Jesse, Desmond told me to ask you about the trolls. What's up with the trolls?
The trolls. That's one of the more recent thing I heard. It's an interesting story. A gentleman has come in here twice now. I'll tell you, he's a little on the homeless side.
Okay.
Without
colorful
going into
character then.
detail. Yeah, a little kind of different. But anyway, he was talking about living in the woods. And kind of engaged with them a little bit. And, you know, he started talking about how he loves the woods. He lives in the woods.
Right.
His last job he had, they made him come out of the woods. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah.
You know, they made him come out of the woods. So it's like,
Okay.
yeah, they call him, come on now, come on. You know, but anyway, I said, wow, you ever see anything strange out there? And he kind of looked at me like, what do you mean strange? And I'm like, you know, Bigfoot. You ever see anything weird? He goes, no, trolls.
Oh.
I see trolls all the time. And he pointed over there, the mountain range over there. He goes, they're over that mountain range. He says, they're everywhere. They're about this tall. And
Mountain range right
yeah,
there?
he pointed right over there.
Get
And I'm
some
not
shots
sure.
of that.
I don't know if that's where he lives. I don't know.
Wow.
But he did mention trolls. He says they're all over. They're about up to his waist.
Okay.
And I don't recall him saying they're furry. I think he said actually they wear clothes.
Oh, wow.
But they're trolls. So he didn't really elaborate on it. I was kind of like, whoa, trolls.
Little trolls. Wow.
Maybe that's the equivalent. He's calling them trolls.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he's seen little people.
Right. Which is the most common Alaska
Yeah, I mean, that's
cryptid.
what my mind kind of went, oh, maybe little people, because I don't
Right.
commonly hear trolls.
Right.
But it's an individual's perception of what he's seeing. He just
Yeah.
thinks they're trolls. But I don't know. The guy's homeless. He lives in the woods. He sees trolls.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but I don't know.
It's a good story.
Yeah, it's a good story. So that's my latest one.
Love it.
So every once in a while, I'll come across a sighting of where somebody's reporting a small ape-like or troll-like creature. I haven't had any directly reported to me, but other researchers I've heard have received them. There's some historical accounts of them. And I don't really quite know what to make of those. I think, you know, the natives almost across the board all have legends and tales of little people. That could very well be what they are. It could also be juvenile or younger Sasquatch, maybe that have just kind of developed the ability to walk, and they're not quite as stealthy or as aware of their surroundings maybe as the adults are, and that might account for some of those sightings. But it could be something entirely different. It could be a race of like the Hobbit people that were found. I think it's Homo florensis or something similar to that that were found. And unlike a lot of other cryptids, there's actually some support in the fossil record for it. So that could be what would explain some of those sightings. It could be a existing pocket of those type of beings. And, you know, there's been some recent studies in the past few years that have just come out where scientists, biologists have basically kind of walked back some of their estimation of how large of a population that a species needs to sustain itself. That they can actually sustain a breeding population with a lot fewer individuals than originally thought. So it's possible, you know, with some of those new numbers coming out, maybe that would lend credence to some of the cryptozoological sightings and creatures that we hear so much about. But yeah, I'm curious. I don't know what to think about those. I think if I saw one, I mean, since I'm out looking for Bigfoot and I saw a tiny troll-like creature, I might think it's a baby Bigfoot, but it could be something else entirely. But yeah, it's an interesting facet of cryptozoology. And we certainly have our share of them up here in Alaska, especially with all the reports and legends of the little people. So it's certainly capable of existing right here in the vastness of Alaska. We have so much unexplored land, and when you start talking about things that are smaller in stature, I feel the credibility of their existence might go up a little bit because they're easier to keep hidden or hide away from prying eyes. Just here a few years ago, I believe there was a new species of squirrel discovered here in Alaska. So, you know, it could be. It could be that there's more of a chance that smaller creatures, cryptozoological creatures, could exist over larger ones like Bigfoot. But you know, time will tell. Maybe someday somebody will be able to get a good photo or video of one, like the Patty film, only a little smaller. So that'll be an interesting day if something like that ever comes to light. And you know, I look forward to getting my first little person report.
So there you have it. I always love their take on these subjects. Now, the expedition of a troll-like creature that we are going to go after in the spring, early summer is my buddy Tim. I've been on some expeditions with him. He's the guy that made the pepper spray flamethrower against the bears that everybody got mad about. They said that the bears were just trying to get some fish. Yeah, the bears were fishing there, but they needed to get at their boat, which came right up to the bears' territory, and the bears were acting aggressive to them. You might not have been able to see that on the video. But anyways, Tim talked to an old-timer, and this is around kind of my Sasquatch Bay area. Well, it's a good 2.5-hour drive from that area. It's kind of by the road system, but this old-timer swears there's these short ape-like creatures. And I'm going to do some illustrations, and so is Rob Roy Menzies, because what he described was just comical. This guy was really solid, Tim said. He was an old-timer, knew a lot about hunting, he knew a lot about the area. He didn't make stuff up. He wasn't crazy. He said that there's these short, kind of hairy, Bigfoot-like creatures, but they're short with big, monstrous feet, like big cartoon clown feet, big, sharp teeth, almost like tusks, and super mean, and a little pack of them, a little group of them in this area. And Tim said, I'm totally serious. I know right where to go. He gave me directions straight to this spot where he swears that they are. And I agreed with him. I said, let's do it. So this early summer, we're going to go after these trolls. And that's what I think of. They're ugly looking. They're not big old Sasquatch. Sasquatch in Alaska is big. I mean, we get reports of bigger creatures than even Northern California. We're talking 10, 11, 12 feet tall at times. So the Sasquatch here are big, giant ape-like creatures, where these guys are little short, mean little sharp-fanged, monstrous clown feet little trolls. So who knows what's out there. There's a lot of crazy reports of cryptids and people sighting things. I'd like to believe that there are trolls living out in the woods, unfortunately, and we're going to put that to the test with some expeditions and go after them. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to try to keep this up every Sunday.